up, great people, Rich Vibes? You're listening to the Rich Girl Podcast, the biggest bank that offers you relief, guidance, and transformation for the soul. I'm your host and rich friend Ty, and before we get into it, the quote of the day is dream without fear, love without limits. On today's episode, our rich discussion is just move it. And so just by thinking about the title, I was thinking about how many times have we ever told ourselves that? How many times have we said, just move the situation, right? Just move the person, just move the thing, just move ourselves out of whatever the environment may be, but yet we refuse to do it, even though we know we just need to move it. And so it reminds me of a situation that happened to me the other day where I was making my bed before heading out to work, which is a standard practice for me. I don't go anywhere. Church, work, brunch, errands, staying in the house to relax. I don't do anything without making up my bed. And so all around my house, I have Glade plugins. And so specifically, there's one at the foot of my bed that I had unplugged because the fragrance ran out. And so my intention for unplugging it was to replace the fragrance. But the caveat is I needed to go purchase more fragrances to replace it. And so while I was making my bed, I kept tripping over the plug-in, right? The part that goes into the wall. And so I knew it was there. I was very conscious, y'all, that the plug-in was there, but I refused to pick it up. But this had been for about a week, y'all. Like, I'm not even exaggerating because I knew my intention. Again, my intention was to unplug it, purchase more fragrances, replace it, put it back into the wall. But this particular morning, I had tripped over this thing about 4 or 5 times. Like, I was hurting myself at this point. And so I ended up kicking it semi under my bed, thinking that I'll just get it when I get off of work. And how many of us know that Glade plug-in, it ended up staying there that day, the next day, the next day, the next day, until I said, you know what, for real, stop playing, go get the fragrances, replace it, and put it back into the wall. And so while I was on my way to work, right, I was asking myself, why do we, me included, why do we do that as a people? Why do we keep such things as people and fears and mistakes and regrets, abandonment, rejection, failed relationships, disappointment, hurts and pains, and anger in our way while we're trying to navigate life? Like, we want the best out of life. Like, we want to live our greatest, richest life, but we have these things, these disappointments, these hurts, this pain, this trauma in our lives while we're trying to navigate and reach it, yet we're not doing anything about it. Why do we refuse to remove the things that are causing us to stumble, that are causing us to fall, that are causing us to hurt ourselves? Why do we refuse to remove those things? Why do we get so comfortable with mess? Again, we included, including me. Why do we get so comfortable with mess? Why have we accepted and tolerated casualties and or repeated casualties? You know, the repeated offenses, the repeated problems, the repeated issues. Maybe it's just me. Maybe in this situation, I'm just talking about me. Why do we reach a point where we just sweep trauma and negatively impactful experiences? Why do we sweep those things under the rug, acting like we are magicians, right? We are magicians, say it right. We are magicians, and we doing this whole act, right? We're making these things disappear physically, acting like we don't see them, even though they're present mentally. What causes us to reach that point, y'all? Like, those were real live questions that I was asking myself based off of a plug-in that I kept stepping on and hurting myself. How is it that we see problems, right? We see the issues. We see the roadblocks so vividly, knowing that these things are impeding our progress, our ability, our success, and our evolution, yet we refuse to do anything about them. And so in thinking about these questions, 2 things came to mind. Where I said, number 1, we are afraid of problem solving because the process of problem solving or solving a problem, it can be messy. Yeah, it can be messy. It can be difficult. It can be time consuming. It's energy draining and it's anxiety provoking. and ignoring the problem and pretending that it doesn't exist, it seems more favorable. But on the other hand, is it really easy? Is it really quick? Is it a great decision? Is it energy saving? Is it stress free? Because at some point, you do understand that you're going to have to confront the things that you aren't trying to conquer and the things that you want to conquer. Huh? You do understand that. And the second thing is, you have no boundaries. Again, me included, have no boundaries to what is and what is not serving us. So instead of removing barriers, we're building barriers, right? So listen, something as small as a Glade plug-in at the foot of my bed that's impeding my walking path caused me to stub my toe twice. It caused me to slip and hurt the bottom of my foot because I stepped on the prongs, when all I had to do was remove the freaking plug-in, pick it up off the floor, and place it somewhere where it wouldn't impede my progress. Get it out the way. I caused myself pain multiple times purposely, on purpose, because I didn't make a decision to clear my walking path, to have more access, right? So therefore, we create our own suffering. And so when we create when you create self-created suffering in your own personal life, it's personalized by pain and the fact that you resist change. But what we don't understand is that change is inevitable. Everything changes in this world. All of nature is short term. None of it is permanent. And part of nature are our reactions, it's our feelings, it's our emotions, which are also short term, which are also impermanent, which means that it's not going to last always. It's not a done deal. It's not the end all be all. It's not permanent. And self-created suffering happens when we resist the notion that all things change, whether we like it or not, whether we welcome it or not. And our personal beliefs, our personal limiting beliefs causes us to believe our pain must be permanent. I'm going to say it again for the people that are at the back who didn't hear that, who didn't amen that. Our personal beliefs and our personal limiting beliefs causes us to believe that our pain must be permanent. The mistakes that we made must be permanent. The traumatic experiences that we experience are permanent. Or our problem that we're facing, the issues that we're facing, these failed relationships, these disappointments, this betrayal, this unforgiveness, that they're permanent, when it's not. Everything changes. Change is inevitable. You gotta welcome change. You gotta learn how to adapt to change, whether you like it or not. However, to embrace change, right, we got to realize that even the worst feelings, that it'll pass. You got to understand the idea where it says this too shall pass. The ideology, the word, the scripture that says this too shall pass. Nothing is permanent. The only thing is we hold on to how permanent it's going to be or how lasting it's going to be. You're holding on to certain disappointments, certain failed relationships, certain abandonments, certain triggers, things that your parents did or your parents didn't do, the sibling rivalry. You're holding on to this family drama like it's permanent. It ain't permanent. You got to learn how to shake it, feel how you want to feel, shake it, and begin to move on. You got to develop new habits and new disciplines that is going to support your evolution, that is going to support your change, that is going to support how you want to refuel or how you want to refuel and refill your well. And understanding that what goes in the well also comes up in the bucket. Everything in your life changes. It's not permanent. Your hair follicles are going to change. I remember when my hair started changing from auburn brown and I started getting grays. I'm like, oh, what the world? I can't stop it from happening. I have a plan in place, but I keep dyeing my hair, but I can't stop the grays from coming. Nothing in your life is permanent. You just determine how long it's going to last in your life. Okay? You got to understand that you determine how long things are going to last. How quickly it's going to pass. You determine that. You control that. And we have to take a look at change in a positive light in all aspects of our life, or in all aspects of our lives. If you think about it, as plainly put, babies are not babies forever. You're not a baby. I mean, you may act like one, no shade, but you're not a baby. We age, we develop, we mature. For most of us, we change inevitably. Our body changes, our voice changes. So what makes you think that just because certain things happen in your life, that happen negatively, that it can't change into a positive? I'm just asking a question. You got to learn how to make the necessary decisions that are consistent with the direction that you desire to go. You got to see yourself as whole one day. You got to see yourself as well one day. You got to see yourself as wealthy and wealthy. I'm talking about WEALTHY and WELLTHY. You got to see yourself that way. You got to see yourself winning. But in that, you must make room. You got to make room for the places that you are going, for the vision that you have. You got to make room by removing the things, the places, the people, the environments, the misinformed thoughts, the wrong speech, the incorrect mindset, the fixed mindset, and all the things that restrict your view, your vision, and your voyage. My God, today. I think I'm getting whole. I think I'm getting set free. I think I'm getting delivered just by that. You got to make room for where you're going. You keep certain roadblocks and certain people, certain issues, certain problems, certain experiences, certain situations and circumstances in your life on purpose. You can't keep resisting the change, but you want change to happen. You got to do some spring cleaning. You got to do some winter cleaning, fall cleaning, summer cleaning. You got to clean all year round. Understanding that day over day, week over week, month over month, year over year, I'm becoming 1% better. Every year, my personal goal is to become 37% better year over year. That's with me changing my habits, with me changing my disciplines. That's me changing how I respond to certain situations. Me understanding and becoming self-aware about me. I got to be able to make room for places that I want to go. Do you think that I'm going to stay stuck in a previous relationship knowing that I want to be married? If it ain't work out, it ain't work out. I felt how I was going to feel. Now I'm going to move forward. I may have cried for 378 days, but on that 379th day, I'm all right. Where he at? Send him, God. I'm ready. I may not be perfect. I may not be a perfect person, but I'm more whole than I was 378 days ago. I'm more whole than the person that I was 340 days ago. You got to learn how to celebrate yourself along the way and keep up with pace, but you got to keep removing the things, the people, the places, the environment, the mindset, the fixed mindset, the misinformed thoughts that restrict your view, your vision, and your voyage. Because all too often we focus on the sayings that say, oh God, take my mess and make it a message. Are you sure about that? Because what message are you delivering? Or how about when they say there is no testimony without a test? Well, how many of the tests are you overcoming? How many of the tests are you passing? Or how about the famous one, the one where they say God gives his biggest test to his strongest soldiers? We all strong. Yeah, and there's no biggest test. It ain't. But how many times you take that test determine on how many times you refuse to follow the instructions of God and refuse to answer how God told you to answer based off of your obedience. Am I digging in your business or mine? See, Isaiah, one of my favorite scriptures, right, is Isaiah 43 and 18. I think Isaiah 43, 18 through 19. And it says something like, but forget all that. Forget all that. And I'm gonna tell y'all how I read it. This how I read it. When I read Isaiah 43, 18 through 19, but forget all that. Forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I am going to do. For I am about to do a new thing. For I am about to do something new in your life. See, I have already begun. So when it happens, see, the thing is, God knew that these situations, he knew that you was going to make certain situations so ahead of time, he already had a different plan in place that was already beginning before your situation, your problem had already ended. See, he said, do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. See, in other words, this is what I believe God said, right? I believe he said, I saw exactly what happened. I did. I saw exactly what happened. I know how you feel. I heard you. I heard your prayers. I saw your heart. I see your heart, your family, your current situations and circumstances. I see all of that. And so after you see how you gonna feel, only for a moment, feel how you gonna feel. That's what God said. Feel how you gonna feel, right? But forget all that. After you feel how you gonna feel, forget all that. Because it's nothing compared to what I have planned. But the question is, do you not see it? We got to be able to see that there's light on the other side. That even when we are going through the wilderness, there's light there. We just got to search within. We think that when we going through certain problems, situations, we think that when we going through the wilderness, that the light is on the outside. The light is on the inside. You got to be able to pull it from the inside. You got to extract the light from the inside when darkness is all around you. We hear the good news, right? We hear all the things that God gonna do, right? We hear, oh, God gonna take care of it. We hear the, oh, won't he do it? We hear that. We hear the blessed and highly favored. We hear all of that. But do you not understand that God needs your participation? In order for your situations to change, he needs your participation. He already got the plan set up. He already wrote the blueprint. But he needs your participation to make sure that it comes through. Like, do you think that just because of I don't know all the terminology, but you have an architect that has a blueprint. If he had no electricians, if he had no construction workers, if he had no building whatever you put on these people, if you had no people to survey the land and all the things to making sure that from a real estate perspective you got all the licensing, you got the land that you want that is good soil, like all the things, right? Do you not think that all of these people have to participate in the building, the execution of the blueprint? He needs your faith. And our faith, meaning our confidence, our trust, our reassurance in God, that he is going to wow us. He is going to blow our mind. And what I think that wows God is that when he see that we're using our faith, right? Because the fact of the matter is we have free will, right? We can choose what or who we're going to believe in. But when we choose God and when we choose his way of doing, I think he gets so excited and starts speeding up the process. He started making things happen. You see signs, wonders, and miracles because you're using your faith, right? And in using your faith, your trust, your belief, your reassurance, your confidence in God, you're choosing to change your posture. You're choosing to change your position and your focus from your problems to God's promises. We know over in Hebrews, it says that faith pleases God, right? So if faith pleases God, Why not utilize your faith? And for reference, free will is acting without constraint. It's your personal discretion. It's your voluntary choice or decision without limitation. So understand this. Again, you are not what happened to you. You use what happened to you to keep evolving because you know that better is available. My mentor tells me this all the time. Both of my mentors, they say, Ty, listen, when better is available, good is no longer enough. So if good was, I landed this job and then I made a certain salary, I was happy with that salary, and then things started to change. I utilized my skills, my abilities, my gifts, my talents, right? I used all of them. I grew them, right? I became a different person. I grew from being an intermediate employee to proficient. Now I'm on my way to advance, and then an opportunity opened up and you making double your salary? You tripping over a person that disrespected you, had no regard for you, no honor, no value for you. You tripping over that, and God got somebody else waiting for you right around the corner. But you can't even bend the corner to get to him or her because you still sweating off of this last failed relationship. You sweating over the fact that certain issues and circumstances happen in your past, like God can't use all things to work together for your good. You got to cease to consider that what has already happened has already happened. You got to cease to consider the things that has already happened. Stop being concerned with the things that are already happened. Why? Because it's already happened. You may have to be disappointed, or you may be disappointed, but you're not devastated. You're not destroyed. You know the devil's MO to steal, kill, and destroy. He may have stole your joy. He may have killed your peace, but he ain't destroyed your life. That's what you need to understand. You may have to be displeased for only a moment. You may have to consider the fact that, I just knew that this was going to work out, but it failed. But God can do it again. You may have been displeased because someone or something failed to fulfill your hopes and your desires or your expectations, but you are not destroyed. You are not ruined. You got to see the possibilities of the upgrade. You see the possibilities of the iPhone 15 and you got an iPhone 11, or you got an iPhone 14. You see the possibilities of that upgrade, but you don't see the possibility of the upgrade that God can give you when you make a decision to remove the things, to just move the things, the people, the situations, and yourself out of environments that are no longer serving you. And so a few days after this plug-in situation, right, I went out and I purchased more plug-ins. I purchased more fragrances, right? So now my room, my living room, my bathroom, everything is smelling delightful, right? And the barrier that was in my pathway was gone and is gone. Now I can smell the essence that I was desiring. Listen to me when I tell you this. When you remove the disappointments, when you remove the failures, when you remove the hurts, when you remove the pain, when you remove the broken mindset, right? When you remove all the things that are impeding your progress, right? That are impeding your evolution, that are impeding on your ability, your capacity, your territory, your happiness, your peace. When you remove those things, the freedom, the deliverance, the new fragrance that you will smell is far better than the funk that you were in. And in order for you to remove the barriers, the roadblocks, the issues, the problems that are in your life that are impeding you in navigating your life, you got to identify that the barriers are there. You got to identify the barriers that are in your life, the barriers that you built that you refuse to remove. Then you got to confirm its utilization. Is it serving me or is it suffering me? You got to denounce the attachment that you have or the need that you have for them. Then you need to practice new disciplines and new habits for creating new beliefs, because the limiting beliefs that you have right now are causing you to refuse to resist the change that needs to come in your life. Understand this. I just read it to you. But forget all that. Forget all the things that has happened already. It's nothing compared to what God is doing. Not what he's going to do, but what God is doing and what he has already done before you were even born. God is not planning. He has already planned for your life. He is about to do a new thing in your life, but you gotta stop resisting the change and remove the things, the barriers, the people, the environments, the mindset, the disappointments, the trauma. You gotta get right in your soul. You gotta make room. You gotta clear the path for God to do what he said that he was going to do, because the work has already begun. The work has already begun. You just gotta see it. You got to see the new view. You got to see the new vision. You got to see the new voyage. You got to see the way that God is making just for you. And so I just want to offer you the opportunity to click the link in the description section and just download my free, it is so free to you. It is so free to you. It is my free Rich Vision workbook. Download that workbook and get started on your new disciplines, on your new habits, and creating a new life for you, meaning your greatest, richest life. And so I thank y'all for joining today. Join the Rich community. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and save this one for later. Oh, and don't forget to connect with your rich friend on socials, and I'll be sure to connect with y'all again. And make sure in the description, not in the description, but in the comments, y'all put what y'all want me to talk about. Put if y'all have some questions. Let's start some discussion, right? So that we can grow together. And until next time, get rich and be happy trying. Love y'all.